Hello everyone and welcome back guys to round 18 of the F1 2019 HAAS Road to Glory career mode, where today we're here for the Mexican Grand Prix. Quite excited for this one, and before we jump into this one as well, I know I've been getting quite a lot of requests from you guys in the recent weeks to show you the car performance. I will be showing it to you in just a minute, but as we come into the Mexican Grand Prix weekend, we have got the final two upgrades that I will be applying to this car for the F1 2019 Season 1. The front downforce and the tyre wear, as you can see, a mixed-up qualifying session as well. But yeah, we will be saving now the R&D points ready for Season 2 to go all out on the engine. There is a quick look at the progress. As you can see, pretty even by most of the midfield. Toro Rosso have really slacked. You can see the resurgence Williams have had in this series. The top three, the gap has come down ever so slightly, I'd say. Relative, but I think, yeah, still the top three, nice and clear ahead. You can see Racing Point there moving, probably a little bit closer. Red Bull, though, have really narrowed up the margin to Ferrari and Mercedes, which is probably why, the gap still looks quite big, but, it's very, very tight between those top three now. And, yeah, for Season 2, we will be saving up all those points and pretty much focusing entirely on the engine, it appears, because, well, if you guys watched the video Arav made yesterday at the time of this going out, you'll obviously know that he spoke about how overpowered the engine was, which was good in a sense that we were on. I felt the same way. It's nice to know you're not the only one that thinks something like that. But yeah, let's jump on then. It's time for the Mexican Grand Prix. Let's jump on, first of all, into quali.
Not long now until the lights go green for the Mexico Grand Prix qualifying. So let's get ready and see who has that pole position winning performance in them this afternoon.
So here we are then, ready for the Mexican Grand Prix qualifying session. As you can see, first of all, like always, starting out in Q1 there, out of the final corner, getting a huge snap of oversteer, but down towards the line, and we do improve to go P12 at that stage of the session there. So quite happy with that one. Obviously the aim of Q1 is obviously just to get through into Q2, and you can see skipping on at the end of the session, we would make it through there very, very tightly bunched. You can see all the way down from George Russell in 10th to myself in P14, separated by just 0.06 of a second there. Very, very tight spread throughout a lot of the field there. My teammate Roman Grosjean would just scrape through ahead of Carlos Sainz and Lando Norris there, with Giovinazzi, Capure and Albon all not making it through at the end of Q1 there. Not really surprising seeing both McLarens, both Toro Rossos and Giovinazzi out. It's the typical 5 we seem to get from this career mode series. But anyway, moving on though into Q2, and like you guys will have just seen at the start of the video, obviously it was looking like a bit of a mixed up conditions qualifying session here today, in Q2 was where this would really start to take effect. So it was basically a case of trying to get out as early as possible here, and it would taken us a good couple of minutes to actually get out on our lap. You can see most people were already down in P13, and most people had already come out and done their first run of the session there. And as we head in towards the final couple of corners through the stadium section, you can see the rain is now really starting to fall here as we head through the final couple of corners. Hopefully it hasn't affected me too much there. Out of the final corner, once again a huge snap of oversteer and down towards the line, and it's only P12 at that stage of the session there, and it appears, yeah, the rain has really affected us there. We dropped about 0.7 in the final sector of the lap, so we could have really been up towards Weber and George Russell there at the end of the session, but sadly not. It's P12 on the grid for the Mexican Grand Prix there. Roman Grosjean, I think, for the first time, probably excluding Japan, probably one of the first times he's out-qualified me in this season. But yeah, not quite what we wanted, but like we always say, the points aren't available in qualifying. Let's jump on then. It's time for the Mexican Grand Prix.
Formula One may have been absent from Mexico for 23 years, but after 2015's triumphant return, it was as if we'd never been away. In Mexico, a Grand Prix is more than just a race. It's a celebration of speed and of bravery. There's nothing quite like the atmosphere in the stadium today. They'll be drowning out the cars with their noise as they make their way through on lap 1. We're a long way above sea level here in Mexico today, which could pose some cooling issues for the cars as they make their way around this 2.6 mile lap. 17 corners with top speeds in excess of 220 miles per hour, and watch out for potential overtaking into turns 1 and 4. Alongside me once again for coverage of today's race, it's none other than the great Anthony Davidson. Now, can I talk to you about Sebastian Vettel? They need to win in order to stay in contention for the title. Anything outside of that, and their fate is no longer in their hands.
And they can do it for sure, as long as they don't dwell too much on the position. At the end of the day, there's only one way to go racing, and that's to give it everything you've got. Either your best is good enough to stay in the hunt, or it's not. There's no point giving any less than 100%.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Gasly, Vettel, Charles Leclerc and Verstappen, Grosjean, Kubica, Russell and Nico Hülkenberg, Mr. Monaco, Butler, Sergio Perez and Sainz, Norris, Weber. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Antonio Giovinazzi and Kimi Raikkonen, Albon and Daniel Kvyat completes the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
We're looking for a 14th place finish today.
So here we are then on the grid, ready for the Mexican Grand Prix, and it's looking like a fairly textbook two-stop strategy here. Mediums onto the softs right at the end of this Grand Prix. And here we are then, it's time for round 18 of the season. The 5 lights are coming on now, and it is lights out, and away we finally get going there here at the Mexican Grand Prix. A very, very long hold, and that hasn't been good for myself. You know, starts have not been my strong point, but that was certainly one of the weaker ones, as we have a long run down towards turn 1. You can see Devon Butler already thinking about trying to look up the inside. There, a bit of contact actually made between the pair of us on the long run towards turn 1. There will be swoop to the outside as we head through the first couple of apexes there. Try not to run to the side of Nico Hülkenberg. See, on the exit of the corner, everyone concertina and up there. Hülkenberg hangs me out to dry on the exit of the corner there. And now Sergio Perez is going to be able to try and have a look back around the outside as we head towards turn 4. We're going to send it up the inside, though, of the other racing point as we head through the next couple of corners there. Even more contact maybe between myself and Nico Hülkenberg, and he's still going to try and keep the nose in there. He really doesn't want to lose this 10th place there off the start. But as we head into Sector 2, we do make the move work, and we do now move ourselves up into P10 of the Grand Prix. So not been too bad a start there from P11 on the grid. And you can see by the end of lap 1, we were thinking about trying to line up a move on my teammate Roman Grosjean here as we head out of the final corner, though. And it would actually be the racing points, you know, that we'd have to focus on in the early stages of this Grand Prix. They're out of the final corner, down the start-finish straight. Obviously no DRS just yet as we head onto lap 2, and Hülkenberg thinking about lining up a move in towards the first corner there. Is he going to be able to go for anything? We're pretty even on the brakes, but luckily around the outside it moves to the inside for the second part of the corner there, and Hülkenberg has to bail out of that when we slam the door shut, and we do hold on to P10 of this race. But yeah, like I was saying, obviously power units are everything on F1 2019, so it's going to be absolutely critical that we can hold on to this position here. You can see Roman Grosjean just in front of myself, as now on to lap 4. We've got the DRS there, nothing he can really do in defence of that one. And then Perez looks like he's going to try and follow me through there. He may be able to line up myself for a move as well. There potentially a double overtake on the cards for Sergio Perez as we come through turn 1 and turn 2. They're trying to attack the curbs. The Perez gets caught out, and we do hold on now to P9 of the Grand Prix there. So yeah, happy with how the start of this race has gone. You can see further up the road there, we've actually got Max Verstappen having a bit of a battle with the Williams cars. Not quite what I expected to say, I'll be honest, on F1 2019, but I know, we'll roll with it. Anyway, as you can see, skipping on over the next few laps, you know, we really sort of find ourselves in a little bit of a pace window here. You know, the Williams and the Force Indies just so strong around this place, obviously with this huge front straightaway. My strength was really sort of in the middle sector. You know, I tried to play to this car's advantage and really play for the aero in sector 2 here, and you can just see the gap, the closing speed that Perez has got over myself as we break down in towards turn 1. I actually pinched the front inside tyre, but yeah, through the first few corners, a lot of curb. I'll hold my hands up and admit that probably wasn't my finest line through those couple of corners there as we now head on to the end of lap 8 through the stadium section we go once again. And what a brilliant little section of corners this is. Probably right up there towards my favourite in Formula 1, I'll be honest. Can't get a very good run through them, but still really do enjoy them nonetheless there. George Russell dives it into the pit lane on the end of lap 8 there. You can see the pit stop windows, yeah, they're really starting to take effect there. The front guys as well, thinking about starting to make their pit stops as we make the long run towards turn 1. The barbecue bits are going to go a bit defensive. Are we going to be able to have a look round the outside, maybe? We're going to try and certainly give it a go there as we come through turn 1 and turn 2. Take a lot of curb there. Q-Bits, though, bails out really, really early. Honestly, I was trying to give him the room round the outside of him. He does bail out, but down in towards turn 4. Are these guys going to be able to get the run despite the lack of DRS there for Robert Kubica? He still certainly thinks about it there. Him and Perez, though, side by side through the next couple of corners. Very, very aggressive moves coming in by the pair of them there. No love loss between the two Mercedes, you know, what's it? Oh, factory teams, trying to think of the name for it. It's customer teams, that's the one at the end of the day there. Yeah, skipping on to the end, though, of lap 10. Yeah, like I said, pit stop window now really starting to take effect in this Grand Prix. So obviously, we was just about trying to make sure that we kept our pace consistent and everything like that, and just prayed that we didn't end up getting caught out by too many of the faster AI, you know, Ferraris, Mercedes and Red Bulls, hoping that we didn't sort of trip over them as best as possible there. And this would obviously be the best place to let them through down the huge start-finish straight here. As you can see, Sebastian Vettel is certainly going to be able to try and line up a move there, and well, nothing that we're even going to attempt to do in defence, obviously, because it's just going to cost myself time. At the end of the day, we may as well try and take some slipstream from the Ferrari man as we head in towards the first couple of corners of lap 13. And this would be the lap we dive into the pit lane as well here. Through the final couple of corners, Hamilton was really breathing down my neck by the end of the lap as well. But, you know, we just kept it consistent and focused on our own race at this stage of the day there. And you can see diving it down into the pit lane on the end of lap 13 here. A 13-lap stint, certainly, you know, certainly very comfortable on these medium compound tyres. They're a nice, tidy pit stop as well, which, you know, something that we've really been trying to focus on in the second half of this season. More often now, I'd say we're getting it right, but still, it's definitely sometimes that we really do still struggle with it at the end of the day there. See, coming out of the pit lane, it's going to be very close to myself and Nico Hulkenberg here. He's going to have a bit of a run, maybe, towards turn 1. He's certainly going to think about it, but just obviously on those fresh tyres, very late on the brakes. So we do hold on for P11 of this Grand Prix there as we come through the first couple of corners. Just putting that a little bit of a margin once again over the racing point there. Is now onto the end of lap 15. Back up into the points as the pit stop cycle really did seem to play out now. And you can see all over the back of Robert Kubica here. Are we going to be able to make any sort of move down towards turn 1? Once again, I don't think there's going to be much he can really do in defence there. And well, we move to the inside with the slipstream, with the DRS, nothing like I said. Yeah, Kubica, despite that stronger power unit, you know, slipstream is very important, especially around somewhere like Mexico, obviously, where the air is much thinner as well there. And we now move ourselves back up into P9 of this Grand Prix here. And next up on the old hit list would be the homeboy Sergio Perez. Are we going to potentially be able to get closer to him to think about lining up a move once more over the next few laps? We'll have to wait and see at the moment there. It's by the end of lap 16 there. A couple more cars now starting to make their pit stops. George Russell has gone for a bit of a weird strategy in this race. He's gone for a double soft stint in the early stages of this race there. And a bit surprised by that one, you know. Well, just costing himself time at the end of the day there, as he might even potentially have to go into a 3-stop Grand Prix, maybe. Just maybe we'll have to wait and see about that one. There's someone else that had just dived it back through the pit lane as well, Lewis Hamilton, and obviously it wouldn't take long before he was lining myself up for a move once again. Though the gap to Sergio Perez, 2.3 seconds up the road. Hopefully, maybe, just maybe, Hamilton and Sergio can have a little bit of, you know, almost trip over each other a bit if, you know, Hamilton catches up at a bad part of the circuit there, and try to bring myself a little bit closer to the racing point as well. They're almost running to the back of him as we come through turn 2 and turn 3. Certainly not what I'd want to do with Lewis Hamilton looking set to take his 6th world title in Formula 1. Came into this Grand Prix with a 50-point margin over Sebastian Vettel here, and although he couldn't mathematically wrap it up today, he basically could anyway. Obviously, if he won the Grand Prix and Seb retired once again, but obviously, yeah, still not quite mathematically doing it just yet, but I think, yeah, it's looking like a matter of time before Lewis Hamilton can get that World Championship. Talk about a matter of time, nothing really Sergio Perez could do of defending the move from myself there as we come down towards turn 1 there. Nicely past him as we actually miss our braking point through turn 1. I get very unsettled at the rear end there. Sergio's certainly not going to try and back down on this one there if an opportunity does arise, but luckily trips over himself through the next part of the corner there, and we do now move ourselves up into P5 of this Grand Prix here as we head now down in towards turn 4 here. And yeah, Sergio still having a very strong home Grand Prix so far here, and yeah, hopefully we can try and do everything within our power to defend this one. But as the second pit stop window started to play out there, Sergio would actually go for a good sort of 2 or 3 lap undercut here as we dive into the pits on the end of lap 26 there. 2 13-lap stints completed on the set of the mediums, and now we try and take the softs, the final 10 laps of the Grand Prix. But as you can see on the minimap, Sergio Perez has pulled out a worldie of an undercut on myself here. He's gained about a good sort of 4 or 5 seconds over those 3 laps there. Really, really surprised by that one. As you can see, Kubica as well flies past me, but no, he doesn't. Robert Kubica, the engine has blown up in spectacular fashion down the front stop, well, down the start-finish straight there, gutting for the Williams man, as he was set to score more consistent points in the latter stages of this World Championship. I know quite a lot of you guys were, saying about how Robert obviously got P5 last time out at Japan there. But yeah, heartbreak for the Williams man there as he falls to the wayside with just 10 laps to go of this Grand Prix there. Another driver that had been able to sneak past myself had been Nico Hülkenberg here as well over the next couple of laps. We try to close back down that gap to Hülkenberg as well here. Green flags once again there as Robert Kubica's car had now been recovered here as we head through turn 1 and turn 2 and 3 there, trying to close up the gap to Hülkenberg. No DRS just yet here, but the softs versus the hards there, the the Racing Point even I should say, really struggling on their tyres there, so they had to go into the hards through to the end of this Grand Prix here as we head through turn 1, well, turn 5 even, and turn 6 and 7 here through the complex at the top of the circuit here. Are we going to be able to get close enough to Hülkenberg to potentially line up a move as we head towards the final 7 laps of this Grand Prix? Take a lot of curb through the first part of the S's here, and you can just see how slow Hülkenberg really is there through the corners, almost pushing him through there. We are potentially going to be able to get a run on the X here. Hulkenberg goes a bit defensive on myself as we head in towards the stadium section there. He's a bit later on the brakes, gets a monumental lockup though, and we slam the door shut, and we now inherit P8 in this Grand Prix here with just 8 laps to go of this race. And not really a place where I was planning on making the overtake, but Hulkenberg went defensive, made the mistake, and well, we are more than happy to capitalise on that one there. And yeah, like I said, now move ourselves up into P8 of this Grand Prix here, and now we're going to try and close down the gap to Sergio Perez here. A few laps later, the gap now down to just 4 seconds at this late stage of the Grand Prix. But sadly, as I'm sure you guys were kind of expecting, that the pace just on these soft tyres really did start to fizzle out right the way through to the end of the Grand Prix. We would still be taking time out Sergio Perez up until, sort of the final 2 laps, but obviously at the end of the day it was just too little, too late in the end there. As we now head on to lap 36 even I should say, of this race there. Really now starting to struggle on the tyres there as we head in towards the final few corners of this Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel has come through to win a critical win if he wants to try and hold on and claim world title number 5 for Ferrari there. But yeah, through the final couple of corners we come though. As you can see, really starting to struggle on this rubber there. George Russell was actually starting to close in on me as well through the final couple of laps, giving the fans a bit of a show there, some Tokyo drift as we head through the stadium section. Now one final time, but out of the final corner here, really struggling, and we've dropped the rear end. We're going to go sideways over the line, and Russell has jumped us right at the end there. I couldn't believe that one when it happened. But yeah, P9 at the end of the Mexican Grand Prix.
Here's our winner, pulling their Ferrari into Parc Fermé. What a fantastic race it was. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection, a shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
Here come our winners now. A thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again. And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. Not the result our points leader wanted, but it certainly makes things interesting going forward. Some amazing talent out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
Well, you can't fault anything that Sergio Perez did out on the track today. He drove flawlessly, making him an easy pick.
Let's move on to the constructors. Ferrari take the lead at the top of the table. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
So there we are then, the end of the Mexican Grand Prix, even I should say. Sebastian Vettel takes home a Ferrari 1-2 ahead of Lewis Hamilton in P3 there. Max Verstappen claims fastest lap of the day in P4 with Gasly. Once again, solid performances by Pierre Gasly towards the end of this season now, up in P5 ahead of Bottas. Perez, Russell jumps myself at the end by 0.2 of a second. It certainly didn't look that big a gap when we crossed the line there. Hulkenberg down in P10 there ahead of Weber, and Butler in the Renault's 11th and 12th. Norris, Raikkonen, Grosjean, Giovinazzi, Albon, and Danny Kvyat round at the finishes there with Sainz and Robert Kubica both not making it through to the end of that Grand Prix. In terms of the Drivers' World Championship, not much chopping and changing. Sebastian Vettel closes back down that gap to 40 points there. Russell jumps Devon Butler there as he now moves himself up into the top 10 of the Drivers' World Championship. And that means what? We've got 7 different teams inside the top 10. We've got, obviously, the big 3, HAAS, Renault, Racing Point, and Williams there. Yeah, 7 different teams inside the top 10 in the Drivers' World Championship there. But that would be the only change in the drivers. In the Constructors, Ferrari with that 1-2 reclaim the top step with just 4 points advantage heading into the final 3 rounds of the season there. The gap to Racing Point starting to, open up a little bit once again. They're 17 points now. It's going to be a mammoth task to try and close up that one once again. But there we are then, guys. That is the end of the Mexican Grand Prix. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. Get yourself subscribed if you're new around here as well. And I will see you guys next time for the US Grand Prix. You do not want to miss it.